Hey, how's it going? I'm here to just make a YouTube video about how I feel about Andrew Yang. Um, I usually don't get involved in the political process, but for 2020, I just felt like I had to take that step. Uh, Donated some money. I wanted to see him, you know, someone, a regular man finally, come in and show that, you know, it's possible to get into politics. Because before there was, you know, they always want to keep just the two main people in the headlines, and they want to ignore everybody else. So it forces us to, look at Hillary or Trump, for example. And for me, I'm not really feeling that. I want to have more choices than that. I want to see more people. You know, it's like what George Carlin said. Uh, we have so many different choices of movies. We have so many different choices of, you know, donuts and bagels. But when it comes to politics, all of a sudden, we only have two parties and, two main people we have to pick when it comes time for the big election. And, I don't think that's why I didn't vote the last time, because I didn't really see any point. It's the same thing, corporation versus corporation. And, it's just a waste of time. But now I see it. We have Tulsi Gabbard, we have Elizabeth Warren, we have Andrew Yang. You know, with the YangGang, um, we have a whole roster of actual competition that you know can actually hold some weight. And I think people are fed up. People have had enough. They want to see actual change, and I'm finally here for it too. I finally want to see some real some real progress coming in. Not just a bunch of talk. I want to see something happen with all these issues, especially the environment. I want to see some, actual, trickling of the money to go to those who don't actually have those means that these corporations have. I want to see, someone do something about these student loans. I want to see, a politician come by and start really coming after these banks with these banks and colleges that come in and just you know destroy people with these crazy interest rates and these crazy this crazy tuition. This whole college thing is just crazy, man. Like, people just want to get educated, and they have to come out, with that. You know, it's not fair that you come out of college with 50, 60, 70, 80 people out walking out here with six digits, 6 digit debt. Man, it's not fair at all. I think that should change. That has to go. Someone has to do something about that. Uh, so hopefully it's not just a bunch of talk. Hopefully they can actually put forth legislation that can do repayment, like term, where you just pay off for a certain period of time, and then after that it's all gone. Because people can't, sit around for 20 plus years trying to pay off the same silly loans. I already know how that is. Um, I wish I knew about trade school before that, and you know, it would have been a lot different. Um, yeah, so I just hope that politics this time is not just going to be a bunch of. It's definitely not going to be a bunch of talk. It's going to be about real solutions. It's going to be about the real people, not a bunch of, you know, pretenders, politicians pretending to care about what we think. So, you know, I'm hoping that you guys also, are taking notice of this election, how it's a lot different than any other election. So this will set the tone for the future of America, the real future of the people. I think people are really starting to speak up, and it's becoming, so the social media era has definitely influenced a lot. Because if it wasn't for this, it would have been the same old, same old. Hillary probably would have came back and it would have been Hillary versus Trump round two, and we'd just be sitting here, trying to pick again for the same thing, and I would just be fed up about hearing about it in the news, you know. And the news is another thing. They don't promote Tulsi Gabbard or they don't promote YangGang at all. They pretend he doesn't exist, but he's out here, and he's definitely coming up. It's coming up slowly but surely, and it doesn't even matter anymore that they don't, because since it's the social media era, now now social media will do it itself. He'll get all the promotion he needs for free on social media, and people just seeing that he's a regular guy like them, that'll just boost him up, and he'll take over, by storm, and the media will be forced to talk about him the same way they were with Trump. No one thought Trump would push through the Republican Party and do what he did, and he did. And then no one thought he was going to come through and do what he did against Hillary and Bernie Sanders, and he did. And he's still here 3 years later. So you never know what's going to happen. Who do you guys think is going to win the Democratic Party? Do you think Andrew Yang can take on Trump? Let me know. Let me know how my first political video has gotten me. How's it going? I'm trying to start off YouTube, on a good note. Just trying to see, mess with some things. See what I got. See how I'm doing. Why not? Also, I just want to talk about other, political things, and get my knowledge up as I keep going. Because I'm out here in New York, so I was definitely rooting for Bernie Sanders back in 2016 when he was out here. I also remember Occupy Wall Street. People forgot about that. A lot of people might have seen that as some kind of, BS movement, but I understood the idea behind it. So for me, I respected that. The only thing is they didn't have like a good enough agenda, so it died off. I think, something like that could definitely help us out in the future if this election doesn't work out, because something has to happen. The rich are getting richer and, locking their money away from the rest of us. And how is the rest of the world going to have it? How does a small group, how does a few hundred people, only a few hundred people have billions upon billions of dollars, and the rest of us are out here struggling to make it every day, miserable, not knowing what we're going to do in 5 years? I don't think that's right. As time goes on and jobs get cut and robots take over, what's gonna happen to the rest of us? Because that's how it is in these American cities. People don't know, like Cleveland and especially in Ohio and stuff like that. All these cities, Detroit and them, are going to fall apart even harder as automation takes over and these factories just keep shutting down. People are going to be forced to, who knows what, man. These cities going to turn crazy, ghost cities, because there's no jobs over there. These are cities that became big and powerful, and people moved there because they had thousands of jobs, and now those jobs are leaving. They're being taken over by robots, automation. These jobs are being taken over by robots and stuff like that. Or they're going to China, and now it's leaving people there in need of something, which is why these people are turning to all kinds of other things. There's a lot of drug usage in these places. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of hopelessness in these places, and they're looking towards anything. So all this is the right time for someone to come in and come in and show that they're different and prove that, you don't have to, be the same cloth politician every 4 years, that we've got to move on to something else, redefine what a politician is. He doesn't always have to be some smooth talking, type person, that it could be a regular, everyday person that can still come across to the rest of us and show that they care about the people and that they do right by the people and that they are actually there to represent and serve the people and remind us what a democracy is. So, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.